Have you ever felt like no matter how much you try, things just don't move? You visualize. You affirm. You do everything right. And yet, nothing changes. You start to wonder if maybe something's blocking you. Something invisible. Something powerful. And you're right, there is. But it's not karma. It's not fate. It's not the universe saying no. It's resistance. And resistance isn't evil. It's fear, disguised as protection. Resistance is the invisible energy that says, it's safer to stay the same. It's not trying to hurt you. It's trying to protect you from what it doesn't understand. Your subconscious mind believes that what's familiar is safe, even if that familiarity is pain, lack, or struggle. So every time you reach for something new, abundance, love, peace, that part of you whispers, wait, it's not safe to go there. And in that moment, your energy stops moving. That's what a block really is. Not something outside of you, but the inner vibration of holding back your own flow. When you say you want to manifest something, you send energy forward. But when you doubt, you pull that same energy back. That push and pull creates friction. And friction feels like stuck. You're not stuck because life isn't working. You're stuck because you're holding both the desire and the fear of having it. That's why manifestation sometimes feels exhausting. You're fighting yourself without realizing it. One part of you says, I want more. Another says, more isn't safe. And the universe, always responding to your dominant vibration, matches the conflict. It mirrors the pause. Resistance isn't something to destroy. It's something to understand. Because every time you feel resistance, it's not life rejecting you. It's your system trying to keep you safe. Your body learned long ago that new things mean uncertainty. And uncertainty meant danger. So even when you visualize abundance, if your nervous system still remembers scarcity, it will fight to keep you in the energy of not yet. Not because you're broken, but because you're wired for safety, not expansion. That's why manifestation is not just about what you want. It's about what you're willing to feel. You can't reach higher frequencies without passing through resistance. You can't embody new energy without meeting the old one first. The key is not to suppress it, to move with it, to breathe when it tightens, to stay open when it pushes back, to recognize that resistance is not the enemy, it's the gatekeeper. And every gatekeeper has the same question. Are you sure you're ready for this? When you answer yes with action, the gate opens. Always. But most people do the opposite. They feel resistance and stop. They mistake discomfort for a sign to quit. They think, if I feel tension, maybe it's not meant for me. No. That tension is the doorway. You can't grow without friction. You can't expand without pressure. It's not a sign of failure. It's the signal that you're touching the edge of transformation. Every time you meet resistance, you're standing on the border between your current identity and your next one. Crossing that border is uncomfortable, because the version of you that lives beyond it isn't fully formed yet. But that discomfort is sacred. It means you're evolving. So instead of asking, what's blocking me? What am I resisting to feel right now? Because once you feel it, truly feel it, it loses its power. Resistance is like a shadow. It disappears the moment you shine awareness on it. And awareness is movement. The second you stop fighting your resistance and start observing it, energy begins to flow again. The universe responds instantly, not to perfection, but to presence. When you stop running from your inner blocks and turn toward them with compassion, you dissolve them without force. Because what we accept releases itself. You are not blocked. You are just holding your breath. And the moment you exhale, you'll feel everything move again. Because resistance isn't the end of your manifestation. It's the beginning of your alignment. Resistance has a frequency. You can feel it even if you can't name it. It shows up as hesitation, as tension in your chest, as the quiet voice that says, what if it doesn't work this time? It's the vibration of wanting something and doubting it at the same time. That's why resistance feels heavy. You're holding two opposite energies at once. One is expansion. The other is contraction. And your nervous system doesn't know which one to follow. So it freezes. And you call that being stuck. But you're not stuck. You're in an internal tug-of-war between love and fear. And until you recognize it, you'll keep mistaking resistance for failure. Resistance doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means something inside you is trying to stay safe. You're expanding beyond your comfort zone, and your body's survival system is sounding the alarm. Wait, this is new. We've never been here before. That alarm is what you call anxiety, procrastination, or self-sabotage. But in truth, It's protection. Your system is trying to slow you down, so it can catch up with your next level. So instead of fighting that feeling, you must teach your body that it's safe to move forward. Because manifestation isn't just about thought. It's about physiology. Your body needs to believe in your new vibration as much as your mind does. Every emotion is energy in motion. So resistance isn't an obstacle. It's energy that's not moving yet. It's a signal, a messenger. When you feel that heaviness in your chest, it's not punishment, it's communication. Your energy is saying, there's something here that wants to move through you. The more you fight it, the stronger it feels. Because what you resist, persists. But what you allow, transforms. That's how you transmute resistance. Not by force but by permission. So next time you feel blocked, don't ask, how do I fix this? Ask, what part of me needs to feel safe right now? That question changes everything. Because the energy of safety is the bridge between resistance and flow. When your body feels safe, it stops fighting expansion. It begins to cooperate with creation. You can breathe again. You can think clearly. You can move freely. And suddenly, the energy that once felt heavy starts flowing like light. That's not magic. That's alignment. The truth is, resistance doesn't stop you from manifesting. It delays the manifestation until your system can handle it. The universe is never saying no. It's saying, not yet, not until you can hold this vibration safely. Because what good is receiving something if you can't sustain the energy that comes with it? That's why most manifestations disappear. They arrive before your nervous system is ready to receive them. So resistance is not rejection. It's preparation. It's the sacred pause between wanting and becoming. When you understand that, you stop seeing resistance as a wall and start seeing it as a doorway. To move through that doorway, you must feel the resistance fully. Not analyze it. Not suppress it. Just feel it. When you breathe into it, you're telling your body, it's safe to feel this. And the moment your body believes it's safe, the energy releases. That's why crying can feel like relief. Why silence suddenly feels peaceful. Why a simple deep breath can shift your whole vibration. You're not escaping resistance. You're letting it complete its cycle. And completion is freedom. Here's something most people never realize. The energy that blocks you is the same energy that will move you forward once you stop fighting it. Because resistance is still energy. It's just energy moving in the opposite direction. When you stop pushing against it, it flips. It becomes momentum. That's why the moment after surrender often feels like breakthrough. You didn't add new energy. You just released what was resisting it. And in that release, your vibration rises instantly. You feel lighter, clearer, more open. And that openness is what the universe responds to. Resistance doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Even the most awakened souls feel it. They've just learned to listen to it differently. They don't judge the tightness in their chest. They don't panic when doubt appears. They pause. They breathe. They listen. Because they know. Resistance isn't an enemy. It's a compass. It always points to the next area of growth. Wherever you feel resistance is exactly where your next level is waiting. So instead of fearing that feeling, thank it. Because it's showing you the edge of your expansion. Every time resistance appears, it's life whispering, you're closer than you think. And when you learn to meet it with patience and presence, it dissolves, and your energy begins to move again. Because nothing truly blocks you. You're just being invited to let go. And letting go is the most powerful movement there is. Resistance isn't something you break through. It's something you breathe through. You can't fight energy and expect it to flow. You have to meet it, listen to it, and invite it to move with you. Because what you resist doesn't block your path. It is your path. It's the signal showing you exactly where your healing lives. When you feel that tightness in your chest, don't call it a problem. Call it a message. It's your energy saying, I'm ready to move, but I need you to feel me first. You don't free yourself by pushing through discomfort. You free yourself by sitting in it until it softens on its own. The act of staying, of not running from the feeling, is what begins to dissolve it. Because the moment you stop resisting your resistance, you become flow. Think of your energy as a river. When you resist, you're building a dam. You're holding back emotion, thought, and movement. The pressure builds. You feel blocked. But when you breathe, you open small channels. And water starts to move again. At first, it's gentle, a trickle. Then as you relax more, the dam begins to dissolve. That's not something you do consciously. It happens naturally when you stop tightening around what hurts. Because flow is not created. It's revealed. It's what remains when control leaves. So how do you turn resistance into flow? You breathe. You observe. You allow. You don't analyze the feeling, you experience it. You don't rush it, you honor it. And slowly something begins to shift. The body starts to relax. The heart begins to open. The energy that once felt like pressure now feels like movement. That's transformation, not in theory but in vibration. When you make peace with resistance, you reclaim all the power you gave away to fear. You realize that every emotion is just energy looking for permission to move. Sadness, anger, anxiety, they're all messengers of motion. And the moment you give them space, they deliver their message and disappear. That's why healing feels like relief. It's not that the pain vanished, it's that the energy completed its journey. You stopped holding it hostage with judgment. And now it's free. So are you. This is the secret to all inner work. You don't need to release emotions. You just need to stop resisting them. Release is what naturally happens. When awareness meets energy without fear, awareness melts resistance. And what melts begins to flow. When you let life move through you instead of trying to control it, you step into harmony with the rhythm of creation itself. And that rhythm is always flowing. The reason most people stay stuck is because they confuse stillness with surrender. Stillness without presence becomes numbness. But stillness with awareness becomes power. You can sit perfectly still and yet be in complete motion because your consciousness is expanding. That's the motion that changes everything. The motion of awareness. When awareness moves, energy follows. And when energy follows, reality shifts. The flow begins when you stop asking, how do I get rid of this feeling? And start asking, what is this feeling trying to show me? That's when resistance becomes wisdom. Because the emotion you've been avoiding holds the exact frequency of your next breakthrough. It's not here to punish you. It's here to graduate you. So when it comes up, breathe. Let it be seen. Let it move through you. That movement is healing. You don't heal by forcing the past away. You heal by allowing the present to flow through you completely. And then something miraculous happens. The same energy that once held you back now propels you forward. The fear that made you freeze becomes courage in motion. The tension that felt like pain becomes power. Because all energy is neutral until consciousness defines it. When you meet it with love, it becomes light. That's what flow really is. Energy meeting love. You can't find flow by chasing calm. You find it by allowing everything to move. The chaos, the stillness, the laughter, the tears. Everything belongs in flow. Because life itself is movement. And when you stop labeling motion as good or bad, you return to your natural rhythm. That rhythm doesn't judge, just flows. So when resistance rises again, and it will, don't fear it. Recognize it. Whisper softly to yourself. This is just energy asking to move. Then breathe. Feel. Let it pass. That single act of presence is enough to change your entire vibration. Because the moment you allow energy to move through you, you remember what you've always been. Movement itself. And movement is freedom. Freedom isn't the absence of resistance. It's the mastery of it. It's knowing that even when tension appears, you no longer panic. You breathe. You remember. You flow. Because freedom is not found in controlling your energy. It's found in trusting it. Every time you meet resistance with awareness, you reclaim a piece of yourself. Every breath you take in presence is a declaration of freedom. Because flow is not something you enter. It's what you already are. When you stop fighting what's happening inside you, the more you stop forcing life to move a certain way, the more life begins to move through you. You become effortless. You become light. You become the current itself. People think freedom comes when life changes. But real freedom happens when you stop needing life to change in order to feel free. That's the moment you realize, my peace isn't at the end of the path. It's in every step I take. You can still feel fear and be free. You can still face uncertainty and be grounded. Because freedom is not the lack of emotion. It's the presence that holds it all. That's what flow teaches you. That everything, joy, sadness, doubt, excitement, belongs. Nothing needs to be pushed away. Nothing needs to be fixed. When you stop judging what arises, you stop interrupting the flow of life. And life, finally, can breathe again through you. The more you trust the current, the gentler it becomes. You no longer need to force yourself into alignment. You begin to remember alignment. It was never gone, only covered by resistance. When you drop the need to control, alignment reappears like sunlight breaking through clouds. And suddenly, everything feels lighter. Your thoughts become quiet. Your body softens. Your energy expands. You look around and realize life was always moving for you. You just couldn't see it. Through the fog of resistance. Now that the fog is gone, you see clearly. The path was never blocked. It was simply waiting for you to flow again. This is the freedom of flow, where you no longer try to manifest things. You simply allow life to mirror who you are. When you live in flow, you stop chasing signs. You start becoming them. Synchronicities multiply. Opportunities appear in ways too perfect to plan. And you understand that life isn't random. It's responsive. It's responding to your openness, your willingness, your energy in motion. And because you're moving freely, life moves freely too. Freedom is remembering that you don't need to push energy. You just need to remove what stops it from moving. That removal is never an act of force. It's an act of love. You love your resistance enough to listen to it. You love your fear enough to sit with it. You love your process enough to stay patient with it. That's spiritual maturity, the ability to stay soft in the middle of transformation. Because only softness can shape energy. Hardness only breaks it. There's a beauty in realizing that nothing is actually against you. Every block, every delay, every resistance was just life redirecting you back into flow. You were never off the path. You were learning how to walk it consciously. You were remembering that control is heavy, but trust is weightless. And the moment you choose weightlessness, you rise. That's what the flow does. It lifts you, carries you, frees you. You don't have to reach freedom. You just have to relax into it. Because flow isn't something you find after the storm. It's the stillness inside the storm. It's the calm presence that whispers, you're safe. You can move now. And when you believe that, when you truly let that truth settle, you'll notice that everything begins to move again. Not because you forced it, but because you remembered what you are. Energy. And energy was never meant to stay still. So take a deep breath. Let go of the idea of being blocked. You were never blocked. You were just holding your own flow hostage. But now, you're free. And freedom doesn't scream. It glows quietly. It flows softly. It lives in every breath that says, I trust. Because when you trust, you move. And when you move, the universe moves with you. Always.